We often treat a successful life like a balance sheet. Every achievement is recorded as material wealth. Every person's worth is calculated by their status, and we assume the highest numbers belong to the happiest people. Shehnaz lives at the very top of this accounting system. She has the bungalows, the luxury cars, and the designer labels that define high society. Yet, despite the extreme opulence, she lives in a vacuum. She is surrounded by people who are attracted to her father's fortune, leaving her without a single person who knows who she actually is. Then there is Ahmed. He is a tailor's son who spends his days delivering tea and his nights studying under a street lamp. On a standard ledger, he has nothing, but he possesses a drive to provide for his parents that gives his life a focus and a weight that Shehnaz has never felt. These are two people operating on completely different systems of value, one built on external assets, the other on internal duty. Eventually, these two worlds are going to collide. The collision happens during a heavy rainstorm. Shehnaz is stranded by a broken car, invisible to the crowds rushing past. Even with all her wealth, she is just another person stuck in the mud when the machines stop working. Ahmed is the only one who stops. He doesn't have a professional mechanics kit, but a life of scarcity teaches you how to fix things yourself. He gets under the hood, works in the rain, and gets the engine running. Shehnaz reaches for her purse to settle the bill, but Ahmed refuses the money. He tells her that he only stopped because he saw someone who needed help, and for him, that is reason enough. This is a form of currency Shehnaz has never seen. In her world, every interaction is a trade. Here, for the first time, she is experiencing a gesture that cannot be bought or sold. Shehnaz starts visiting Ahmed's tea stall every day. What begins as a simple thank you evolves into long afternoons of conversation. They are spending time together without any commercial or social incentive. Ahmed shows her his world, sitting by the river or watching a game of street cricket. These experiences cost nothing, but for Shehnaz, they carry a weight that her high society parties lacked. She begins to feel a sense of peace that has no connection to her bank balance. For the first time, she feels safe because of who she is, not what she owns. Human connection and psychological security don't follow the rules of the market. You can't manufacture them with capital. They have to be grown through shared time. Systems built on hierarchy don't like anomalies. When Shehnaz's father, Malik Sahab, finds out about the tea stall visits, he treats the relationship as a liability that needs to be liquidated. He calls Ahmed to his mansion and uses the only leverage he understands. He places a briefcase full of cash on the table, a direct offer to buy Ahmed's exit from his daughter's life. This is how Malik Sahab manages his world. This chart shows social risk on one side, the threat to his family's reputation. To balance the scale, he drops in a cash payout. In his mind, every person has a price, and once that price is met, the risk is neutralized. But Ahmed's refusal breaks the math. He tells Malik that he is poor, but he isn't for sale. When Ahmed chooses his own dignity over the payout, the cash block shatters. The scale tilts because Malik is trying to measure something that doesn't have a numerical value. Malik responds with the weight of his entire organization. He threatens Ahmed, forcing him to walk away to keep Shehnaz from bearing the consequences of her father's anger. To finalize the correction, Malik arranges a marriage between Shehnaz and another wealthy businessman's son. He is trying to force her back into a transaction he can control. It's a desperate move by a rigid system. When a hierarchy can't buy an asset, it tries to crush it to keep the rest of the structure from questioning the value of money. On the wedding day, the ceremony looks less like a marriage and more like a merger. The families are there to combine their assets and secure their social standing, while Shehnaz sits in the middle of a contract she never signed. Seconds before the nikah is finalized, Shehnaz realizes she cannot live as a line item on a family ledger. She walks away from the altar and sheds the weight of the gold and the expectations as she runs from the hall. This is the inevitable end when you try to force a person to live a life built on false values. Eventually, the need to be a real person outweighs the need to be a compliant one. Shehnaz reaches Ahmed's small house, still in her bridal dress, with Malik Sahab and his security team arriving moments later. The contrast between the dusty street and the luxury cars is as sharp as it's ever been. Malik screams that his respect has been destroyed in front of the whole city. He is standing in a small house, worried about how he looks to people who aren't even there. Shehnaz tells him that he's looking at respect all wrong. She points to Ahmed and tells her father that real honor comes from the strength of a person's character, something that doesn't disappear just because a bank account does. Malik is ready to strike out, but then Ahmed's mother steps forward and reminds him that every father's actual goal is to see his child happy. When Ahmed then reaches out and takes Malik's hand, not with a demand, but with the quiet humility of someone who has already won, Malik's anger finally runs out of steam. He looks at the two of them and sees a connection that his money simply cannot replicate. The resolution is quiet. Ahmed and Shehnaz marry in a simple ceremony. Over the following years, Ahmed uses the same discipline he used to study under streetlights to build his own business, eventually finding financial success on his own terms. Money is a tool we use to navigate the world, but it makes for a terrible foundation for a life. The most resilient parts of our lives, the things that actually hold up when the rain starts falling, are built on integrity and the people who value us for who we are.